Entrepreneurship is a tricky thing because when you're learning about it at first, you're super excited. You're filled with energy and passion and momentum, and you're so excited to get started. And you have a vision of what you think it is, because when you don't know something, when something is new to you, you have this idea of what you think is going to be. But it's not until you actually engage in the path that you realize through experience, through direct experience, what it actually is, right? So you can have an idea of what a cake is going to taste like, but until you actually taste it, until you have it in your mouth, you have no idea. And with entrepreneurship, for me, as I was learning about it, I thought it was this thing. But now that I'm in it full time, I made that transition. I cut the ties, right? I burned the ships. I said goodbye to my 9 to 5. I cut the ties and I engaged on the path full time. Man, this cake tastes a little bit different than I originally thought. Boy, does it taste different. But it still tastes good. Now, just to give you a little bit of background, I've been, you know, engaging in this entrepreneurial path for, we'll say, a year and a half. And ta-da, I just finally hit my first milestone of 10K a month. Ta-da. Now, Liam, you've been at it for a year and a half, and you just hit this milestone? Yes, I have. About a year, to be fair. The first business I started was a complete failure. It didn't work, and I put so much time into funnels and land pages and hitting people up on LinkedIn and sending them to the land page and trying to book meetings, but it was just not the right offer for the right person. The person I was targeting, I'm not gonna go too in depth, but they didn't have the budget that I was looking to for that specific business. They didn't have the money. So I was trying to sell something to someone that didn't have the money to buy that. And anyways, they weren't even interested in doing that thing. Again, I'm not going to go too much into detail. However, it didn't work. So after 6 months of doing that, then I readjusted, positioned myself a little bit more B2B, I made sure I was targeting companies that had money, so more B2B. When you sell B2B instead of B2C, there's more assurance that the companies you're targeting, they have money. I mean, it's a business after all. And I started focusing on specific boring services, but boring services that businesses needed, especially tied to lead generation. And after the uncertainty of a couple months, I finally broke through. Got my first client some time ago. Then got my second client literally yesterday. I just was on site with them yesterday, we did a bit of a workshop, and lo and behold, 2 clients got me over the 10K a month threshold. Now that's revenue. That's not profits. But I made it. I made it to this, the 10K a month mark. Just me and a couple subcontractors. And let me tell you, it hasn't been easy. It's been, again, that cake of entrepreneurship that I thought it was going to taste a certain way. Excitement, a freedom, all these cool things. But I realized that, you know what this cake tastes like? Going with the cake analogy. For the last year, I'll tell you how it's tasted. It's tasted like uncertainty. It's tasted like excitement. It's also tasted like fear. It tasted like sadness. It tasted like stress. It's tasted like happiness, success, achievement, independence. It also tastes like that. But it's a bittersweet taste. I have both tastes. I have a full gamut of experience when it comes to taste. when you cut the ties, you burn the boats, and you say goodbye to the traditional path that I was on. I didn't have a bad career. I had a good career. I had a great career. There's still a lot of pressure, high pressure, because I was in a more like tech sales enterprise sales career. A lot of pressure still, a lot of stress, but nonetheless a very good career with a predictable check every 2 weeks. And saying goodbye to that was not easy. But now that I hit this 10K mark after a year of fear, doubt, and uncertainty, was it worth it? Yes, it was worth it. Yes, it was worth it. It was worth it. Yes, it was worth it. And as I repeated, I promise you, I'm not trying to just convince myself, or maybe I am, but it was worth it. It was worth it because now that I have friction, now that I have traction, me getting to 15K a month to 20K a month doesn't seem that hard. I honestly got a little bit, it took me a little bit to get to 10K a month. It took a lot actually. I've been grinding, man. It's been tough. I had some credit cards and trust me, they were screaming because literally I went through my savings. I wasn't even planning on saying this, but you know what? And I don't recommend anybody does this. I honestly do not recommend anybody does this. I'm 30 now, so I'm not the youngest person in the world. I'm not the oldest. And again, I'm not recommending that anybody does this, but I saw my point. I saw myself on a point where either I had to go back or I had to literally take out the money that I had in my 401k, which wasn't tons and tons of money. Again, haven't been working for 30 years, but it was something. And you know what? I took it all out. Now, I'm not saying that to inspire you or motivate you. I don't care how you feel. I'm just telling you what I did because I made a decision. I'm not going back. And if I have to go back, if I have to do whatever to survive and provide for my family, I'll do it. Don't get it twisted. I'll do it. But man, I told myself that I would pull every move that I possibly could to make this happen. And that came at a point where my credit cards were pretty high, to be honest, that I needed some capital and I didn't have any, you know? I reached out to my dad, see if he would help me. Unfortunately, he had made some investments, things were locked up into some real estate investments that he had made, so he didn't really have the capital I needed for to sustain myself. I asked him for a loan basically. He couldn't make it at the time when I asked him, so I did it, man. I went to my 401k, called the folks at Fidelity, and said, "Hey, I need my money, and I need it now." I need my money, and I need it now. And this was, when I took it out, it was about 6, 7 months ago when I had no idea what the hell was gonna happen, man. Uncertainty, doubt, fear. Aha, check, check, check. Yes, amen. But I took the money out. I used it literally to pay my bills, literally, so I wasn't out on the streets. Um, and man, it paid off. Now, am I recommending you that you do that? Man, I asked one of my mentors. I was working with one of my mentors, helping him out some things in the company. Things that didn't end up working out too well. The things that we were trying out weren't working out too well. So that was the last official, job that I had. And when I told him I was making this decision to head into entrepreneurship, I said, "Hey, by the way, look, I know things, we couldn't make the goals that we want to happen. What do you suggest I do? Um, should I just fully go into entrepreneurship? Maybe throw whatever bills I have on the credit cards if I ever need to, if I run through my savings." And he said, "Liam, I wouldn't do that. Um, Go get a job, another job, even if it's part-time, so you're not fully in the 9 to 5 industrial complex, and at least get a job, and then slowly, maybe in the future build something on the side." And those were wise words. That's what he's supposed to tell me. He's not supposed to tell me, "Yeah, max out your credit cards, take out your 401k, and give the shit a shot." He's not supposed to tell me that. He gave me the right advice. I just didn't listen. I I'm sorry, but I didn't listen. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Is that something in the middle? I have no idea. It's just what I decided to do because that's what it felt right to me. My intuition, or maybe my stupidity. I frankly can't tell you which one it was, but it basically told me that this was something I had to do, and that I had to pull piece I had in my arsenal, every card in my hand, I had to pull it. And I did, and it worked. Well, so far, look, I'm not a billionaire. I just hit the 10K mark, but at least things are decently sustainable. I was, with the revenue I've been making, uh, with my first 1 to 2 clients, I was able to pay some of my credit cards. That's not all, but most. Almost done. Only have about 3,000 left that I need to pay back. The 401k is not coming back. That's gone. I kissed it goodbye. But the Roth IRA, whatever, 401k. But now I think I've made it through the hardest part. I've closed 2 clients already. So from here, it seems like closing the third one will be a little bit easier. And I'll keep you updated. The first one was exciting. I remember I had my Stripe and I took a screenshot of the first payment. Man, that was magical. Was it worth it? Was it worth it? Man, it was worth it to me. It was worth it to me. Man, that screenshot. It was like killing my first. When people go out hunting, I've never done it. I can't claim any cool experiences of me hunting. I don't have any cool stories. But if I ever did go hunting, I would imagine it would feel something like that. Man, it felt good. I still get the screenshot. I'm gonna keep that screenshot for a long time. That was what was it? $6,200 first payment, recurring, monthly recurring. Now the client can stop paying me at any time, but monthly recurring, at least that one client. Point being, it was worth it. Second client wasn't as exciting. Still a little bit of a rush, but not as much. And I assume the third one is just gonna be easier, and the fourth and the fifth. I say all this to say that if you have a vision, you have a dream, and you want to engage in the path of entrepreneurship, and you want to hit your first 10K, should you do what I did? Look, I can't tell you what you're going to do or what you're not going to do. You're your own person. I trust you're intelligent and divine in your nature and your wisdom and your passions and your intuitions for you to figure out whatever the hell you want to do with your life. However, if there's something that you think about, I hope this was able to give you a little bit of a push. However good this was or however horrible it was, I hope it was able to help you in some way, to inspire you in some way to take some type of action at some time. And whatever you decide to do, I'm grateful that you'll do it great. And if you found this helpful, I'll be making more of these updates of my journey as I progress. My goal is to get to, I want to say a revenue goal, but my next goal is to get to 25K, obviously. Ultimately, I do want to get to 7 figures. I whether it's through this business alone or through 2 businesses, a combination of the two, my goal is to get to 2 million annual recurring revenue. That's my goal for me as a lifestyle entrepreneur. I don't have a massive team, neither do I want to grow a massive team. Right now, it's just me and, a contractor slash partner, which I give him a percentage. He's very good. But I'm the sole person. And whatever other business I start, I'm planning to do something similar. Lifestyle entrepreneurship. Yeah, but my goal is to hit around 2 million ARR between my businesses. I've calculated, reversed engineered, and if I can hit that with 70% profit margins, then I can have and create the lifestyle that I want. It's not a bunch of fancy stuff, but it's sustainable, it's enjoyable, and I have the freedom of time, of energy to do what I choose. So again, if this is something you're thinking about, I hope this was able to inspire you, even if it was a small spark. But small sparks can start fires. So I wish you the best in your fire, and let's make it hot. I'll see you next time. Take care.